All right, guys. Hey, here I am. uh, so, as you can see, in the last video, I showed you that I built the axles and built the transmission. I went ahead and built the shocks with the stock stuff that comes in the TRX Sport kit, which was a pretty good kit. I was satisfied with that kit. You know, I honestly am satisfied with it. I think the frame, the shocks are good shocks. They're metal body shocks. I went and looked. These same shocks at my local hobby shop are $90 for four. You know, the tires are better than I thought they would be. Never, you know, again, this is not only is this my first G-speed build, this is my first build ever, and it's my first 1/10 scale crawler. Right here, this is about 4 months ago. I bought this guy. You can see I tore the bumper off and cut up the side a little bit. We threw some 1.9 tires on there, and because because this has 1.9 rims on it, I was thinking you could just throw 1.9 tires on there. We got some. My roommate got some, and we threw them on this truck and had to cut it out, and they're just way too tall for the truck. These tires are not. I mean, they're 1.9 tires, but they're really short tires. They're like specially made for this truck. They're like actually I think they're smaller than 1.55 tires, but they fit on the 1.9 rim here. So but these tires, I can buy these tires and they actually work pretty good. I would do want to put some I would like if there's a little bit of foam in there. These are pretty soft without the foam, and but they work pretty good. You know, they do work pretty good. I would like to put some steel wheels. I'm probably going to end up putting these steel wheels here that I'm using for this build. I'm going to end up throwing these on this truck right here at some point down the road. So this is what I'm used to. You know, this is my first 10th scale truck. It's my first G-speed build, and it's my first build ever. So one thing that I've decided, some things have changed since I've started to put stuff together. What I did is I went ahead and threw the transmission and the chassis mount for the TRX Sport kit, and really I'm impressed with the bottom of this is pretty damn flat for a trail truck. I mean, if you look at this has got a big old hump in it right in the middle, and it hangs up a lot. You know what I mean? They make an aftermarket flat transmission mount or skid for this. For RC 4x4 Extreme makes it, and they make some pretty good stuff for this truck. I'm definitely going to get that for this truck. It's my first truck, so I want to keep it around, and I want to put some money into it, make it a little bit more, make it do its best, you know what I mean? But this kit, I was surprised. I just seen EXO, and on his TRX Bronco, he replaced it with an aftermarket skid, and honestly, the aftermarket one had more bumps in it than this one does. So, it's a pretty good skid, but it's not going to work, obviously, for this chassis, which is fine with me, And I went ahead and mocked this up. I used some of the spare hardware that I'm not using to put together the chassis to kind of mock this up, because I wanted to see how this frame was going to fit underneath the body. And the other thing I've been getting used to is, so if you look at, this is a truck I've had for the last 4 months. It's 12 scale. And then boom, you look at this next to it. It's pretty big. I mean, honestly, we got a good, plus this is a truggy too. So it makes, it doesn't have much body in the back. So I got used to that. And we're a good 3 inches longer in body, if not 4. And it's literally, it's got to be like, if you look at this right here, there's a lot more truck here in this body. And so when I started this build, I didn't know that the V3 frame was for Class 2 and Class 3. I didn't understand what a V1C1 was, and this doesn't have, it does have integrated shock hoops, which it automatically puts it at a Class 2 or 3 on the build. And so with that being said, it's like, why am I trying to use this body, this beautiful body, you know, I really like this body, but it is super big and bulky. It's a trail truck body, you know what I mean? And if I want the portal axles and all that, and it's like, I've been seeing EXO run his, I've been seeing him run and other people run on his course in his backyard. A lot of trail trucks, like for instance, his Gen 8 or his Bronco, not too much his Bronco, but his Gen 8 and his SCX 10.3 and his Gen 8 Axe, and some of the other guys running more of a trail truck body on his course, and they get in the way. They make a bunch of sound like this, rattling around and shit, and honestly, I'm not looking for that. You know what I mean? I really wanted to use this body because it is cool. It's really well built. It comes with a bunch of accessories here. I got all these accessories to put on the body, and it looks good. But honestly, I've decided at this point, after mocking this up, that I'm going to go with the Power Wagon or the Cliffhanger body. And because I'm going to try to keep it as budget as possible, I'm just going to go with the J Concepts Creep body. Because I just really think that the Creep body on here, it exposes the axles and the wheels set outside, and it just is a lot less body, and it looks way better to me. You know, it looks way better, and when you're on the rocks, it's a lot more fun because you're not, you know, getting this big old body flopping around on the rocks and getting in the way. So that happened. So with that being said, it's like I could have went with the Element kit and straight axles, and I would have got high clearance links, maybe a little bit better shocks. They're a little bit more metal shocks, and definitely a better transmission. You know, I haven't ran a Stealth X transmission, but the fact that it comes with overdrive and all that, and the optional gears, and it's more of a basic 3-gear transmission, and it's probably a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller than this, and so a little bit simpler, which is what I'm looking for. You know, I'm just gonna go with a different body in this one. I'm probably gonna sell this or save it for a swap meet, because somebody's gonna want that body for their TRX4 Sport or their TRX4, because it's the Sport kit one that comes with the light buckets and all the aftermarket stuff. So I'll be able to make someone's day with that and give them a good deal on that. But that's what's happening with this build. So I mocked this stuff up, and I got the motor. I threw the motor on there just to kind of see, to learn, you know. I don't know. This thing spins. I don't know if that's why they call it an Outrunner motor. Still trying to figure that out. I'm still waiting on the In the Works RC kit to put this motor and transmission to this frame. It comes with a dual servo mount, so I'll be able to run that. I was watching TRD today, and he just came out with Benchtalk 4. But besides that, I was watching his gspeed tips, and I learned how to mount the panhard. I do have this chassis set up right now. As you can see, the panhard goes right here. Waiting on the In the Works RC because I want to put that servo mount in, and I'll be able to throw the panhard up. My next order, I did get the wheels done, and after this video, I'm gonna take the wheel nuts off this. As you can see, I'm using the wheel nuts from the TRX4 Sport kit as spacers for the shocks, just to mount this up. But my next order, I'm getting the Creep body. I'm getting some K&K hardware and some spacers and some 3mm hardware, some screws and nuts, or bolts and nuts or whatever, so I can put this together better. Got the sliders on here. The sliders went on great. I'm not using the right screws for anything hardly, but that will change. I'm going to order the hardware, the Creep body. I'm going to make it a white Creep, maybe with some black. So I'm just going to go down to 2 cans of paint instead of the 4 or 5 I was going to use for that body. It's going to be a little bit more simpler. So almost, you know, honestly, going to the Creep body and just 1 can of paint probably is actually going to save me more money by, you know, it almost pays for itself in paint. I'm getting the Three Brothers RC Overlander winch and the G11 servo from them. And I was going to go with the RJ Fab bumpers, but In the Works RC, they got their bumpers back in stock, and it's $10 cheaper to get their bumpers front and back. It's pretty much the same thing as RJ Fab, except for theirs are painted and $10 cheaper. Plus, I needed to order a shock kit for these shocks. As you can see, I don't got them ran upside down. I don't have the, these springs are too big and everything, and they got a $15 kit. I am gonna get springs with the kit because you got to get the smaller springs to go with the kit, and so that's gonna run about $28 altogether to make these shocks to where I could turn them upside down and get them right. I'm getting the spacers, and then besides that, I've decided just to run these foams. I have found the other major thing that changed is that I found on the In the Works RC page, there is a TRX V3 link kit. So I'm assuming because there's that kit that I'm going to need the links to run to what's coming in the mail instead of using these stock links. And I'm going to end up getting the high clearance links. I'm just going to get the high dollar links just because, I can trade them down the road or whatever. They're worth more. It's a good investment. I'll probably use more than one set of these axles and stuff, and I don't know, but the links are like $65 to $90. I don't know what I'm going to get for sure yet. If I would have known this was going to go the way it's went, I probably just would have went ahead and got the carbon fiber rails. But so I'm going to spend about $28 in the Works RC on shock mods, the springs and the shock mods, and then $55 on bumpers, and then I'm going to spend probably $65 to $90 on links, and then from Three Brothers I'm going to spend about $100 on a servo and a servo winch, and then A-Main I'm going to spend probably about $200 for hardware and the body and paint. And then this thing will be pretty much together. My biggest worry is I'm learning, it looks like I'm going to have to use heat gum to attach the ESC and the motor together. I just got bare ends here. However, in this kit, it does come with some sleeves to shrink wrap. You see the bare ends sticking out of there. I've never done that before. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm pretty sure I could place it right, but getting it all tight and pretty, that's going to be a challenge. I'm going to learn about that. I don't know how to paint Lexan, so I'm going to have to learn. Right here on this body, it says this body has a clear protective peel coat. After painting, remove the peel coat by lifting one corner of it. So do you paint the bottom and then remove the film on the top, or is the bottom? I don't know. But if you do have to paint the inside, that's going to make, putting stripes and stuff with the paint a little bit harder to do. I mean, it makes sense to paint the underneath side because it's going to be scratch resistant, but to detail this out with paint is going to be a lot harder to paint the inside as opposed to the outside with taping and stuff. So I'm just going to go with the creep body, paint it white. I might put some black trim on the bottom of the body, but I don't know. So yeah, that's it for now. As soon as this kit shows up in the next few weeks, they're super backed up. Everybody wants their links. So in the next 2 or 3 weeks, before I make my next purchase, I'm going to properly mount this motor and transmission to this frame. And then, or at least I'm going to try to. I don't really have the hardware to properly do it yet. And then once I get that last piece of this puzzle of this order, I'm going to go ahead and make my next order from A-Main and In the Works RC and Three Brothers. I'm going to spend another $300 or $400. So I'll be between $900 and $1,000 on this build at that point, and that should pretty much finish it up, I hope. For now, the stage one of this build, it should be a running truck at that point, besides the battery, the charger, and the radio. And initially, I wanted to go with the expensive radio, but I found one that will do the same job for, considering I don't even know what telemetry is, and You know, I would like to get the DX Pro, the DX5 Pro from Spectrum, and I probably will get that radio at some point in the next year or two. But for now, I'm just going to start with the GT5 6-channel. It's a lot less of an investment, and it's a step up from what I already have. So I'm just going to take a few baby steps with that one instead of getting the $400 radio for my first build. And so the next month, I'm going to spend $300 or $400, finish this truck up. I'll show some videos of that. And then once I get the radio and battery for $170 the following month, I'll actually have some running video of this truck finally. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks when that $50 skid and servo mount shows up from In the Works RC. All right, bye.